Well, it may just be January, but in their first session of 2026, the minds of the Needham Planning Board are already focused on May. At their meeting on January 6th, the board spent the majority of their time considering possible bylaw changes that may be proposed at the 2026 annual town meeting. 3 separate matters made their agenda, each facing different challenges and tight deadlines to make it to the warrant.
At the head of the evening, the board held a discussion with Town Council Christopher Heap on aligning the existing zoning bylaw regarding accessory dwelling units, or ADUs, with the state law. Last in front of town meeting in May of 2023, current regulations do not meet the mandate set by the Affordable Homes Act of 2024. Heap presented the latest iteration, which would ultimately need to be approved by the state's Office of the Attorney General. With the new rules allowing greater flexibility to homeowners and developers, planning board members prodded Heap to predict how different scenarios would play out under the law. Heap cautioned that the board cannot anticipate every interpretation or guard against all developments that might impact a neighboring property. He reminded them that every situation is unique.
As we're talking through these hypotheticals, we're not generating any or many in which I'm telling you that the ADU can't happen. Mm-hmm. In almost all of these cases, the ADU can happen in some form.
Mm-hmm. The board also heard from the management of North Hill, who is hoping to open the door to expansion through a zoning bylaw change. Citing the strong need for increased senior housing options, the nonprofit North Hill is asking the board to put forward zoning that would allow them to build a new, attached, 4-story residential building on their site. Accepted by the board as a largely positive proposal, the plan detailed 4 potential sites that would be possible locations for the new structure. Board members alluded to the self-contained nature of the property, as well as the fact that the skilled nursing center unit currently stands at 4 stories, as factors that work in North Hill's favor. While no designs were submitted, the proponents said that the first step would be to get the zoning updated, at which point they would be able to return with the next level of planning.
There's no building designed at this point. It's more where we could potentially go. We would have to come back to the planning board to work these details out through the special permit process, because that would have to be amended.
Also hoping for positive consideration from the board was J. Dorenzo Properties, LLC, who is generating a citizen's petition to change the zoning around the former Hillcrest Gardens Nursery at 888 Great Plain Avenue. First brought in front of the planning board in 2021, the proponents want to move forward several actions that would allow the development of a mixed-use property featuring commercial and residential space. The current concept features 3 retail units and 26 residential units with underground parking. While the board spoke favorably of the design and expressed interest in seeing the property developed, reaction was mixed in regard to supporting or sponsoring the necessary bylaw changes. While some thought that the proposed map changes should extend past the property to Warren Street, others thought that the current drawings didn't accurately reflect what the new bylaw would allow, as no official designs have been filed.
When you see something, that's one thing, but does the bylaw actually condition that to have to happen? Again, the biggest thing is the neighborhoods have to weigh in on this. Okay, they have to. I know it's always great when you know they're going to be weighing in on the positive without question, but I don't know where that's going to be. Again, visuals make a big difference. Bylaws matching the visuals make more of a difference.
If town meeting, for example, voted to extend the center business district but not the overlay, well, then this complete thing goes out the window and it's a whole different thing. They vote to extend the overlay, but they don't vote for the relief on the setback. Again, that goes out the window and it's it's a whole different design.
In the end, the board instructed the proponents that they could still present their case to town meeting through a citizen's petition initiative. The proposed language for the zoning bylaw articles are due to be submitted to the board at their next public session on January 20th. The planning board would then send the articles to the select board to be placed on the town meeting warrant, after which public hearings would be scheduled. For the Needham Channel News, I'm Mark Mandel.
Also to be considered this May are changes that would address concerns about overdevelopment in Needham. The Large House Review Study Committee decided on guidelines for a new bylaw at their meeting on January 5th. They're scheduled to present their recommendations to the Planning Board at their next session on January 20th.